Hi. Um, Today I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm doing a video cam direct upload. So it's probably going to be pretty rambling and not having any direct direction. But I really do have something particular that I want to say here. First off, I'm doing the direct upload because, well, Richard, you do direct uploads all the time, and I really respect the way that you put yourself out there completely unedited. And here's me doing the same thing out of respect for you. So the question, the reason for this response is because of the comments in this video section. And I made a comment about being anti-inherited wealth. And your response made it clear that this was something for which you had some pretty strong opinions, and I felt that my original statement, which I edited down to 500 characters, was unclear as to my actual positions, and I wanted to clarify some. So, for clarification purposes, I'm not against inheritance as a whole. We all inherit incredible amounts of wealth. We inherit it from society in the form of roads and technology and knowledge. And I mean, inheritance is really important to our species. Without it, we wouldn't be anywhere. We cannot start from scratch every time. It just doesn't work that way. We would not be where we are if it weren't for inheritance. So direct up inheritance, I'm not against it. Inheritance built our world. What I am against is the massive accumulation of wealth kind of inheritance that exists in, you know, say, just to pull a number out of the air, say 1% of society, where we're talking inheriting many millions, and you know, we describe them as born with a silver spoon in their mouth. This would apply to the Kennedys, which was the original example in question. People speaks of aristocracy. It is a modern aristocracy. And this reeks of feudalism. And feudalism just reeks. What I'm against is this idea that somebody born to that kind of wealth is somehow more deserving of wealth and power over time than someone who was born in a much lower class, who worked their ass off to try and gain an education that was just kind of handed, all the best schools, all the best everything, that was just, you know, seed money to start their business, everything else that was just handed to somebody who was truly wealthy. I'm not against your father putting together a few $100,000 and leaving it to you. I'd probably tax that to a fairly significant portion, but if he put together a few $100,000, you should at least have $100 and some odd thousand of inheritance. I'm not against your parents deciding that, you know, being able to leave you a personal inheritance. But when we're talking multi-billions, when we're talking, you know, the Waltons or the Kennedys or this old money kind of wealth, where simply because you were born to this wealth to start with gives you such a tremendous advantage over anyone else. It is extremely unlikely that someone born of a lower class can ever catch up. I would tax them dramatically, which is what was originally around. We were doing that in this country. inheritance taxes were really hefty at one point in time, and they have been cut back dramatically. And this has, in my opinion, only served to increase the wealth gap, increase the opportunity gap between someone who is born with intelligence and drive and everything else, but can't make it at the same level that someone who was born lazy and rich can. I mean, that's where I have the problem. I think we need to break the American aristocracy. I think we need to break this aristocracy of the rich. And I don't mean break them in a way that, you know, says you can't be rich anymore. I'm reasonably in favor of, I mean, it's okay to be rich. I'm not against being rich, but I do believe that the rich owe that rich being, you know, you cannot be rich, that kind of rich, on your own labor. It's not possible to do $1 billion worth of work. It's just not possible. You get to be a multi-billionaire either by having an inheritance or where did the money originally come from, by taking a piece of millions or thousands or millions, a myriad of lesser people, lower classes, of their labor. Your management, we need management. I mean, big complex systems, I'm not against the idea that they need people at the head, but I don't think that the person at the head of a complex system deserves 80% of the wealth generated by that system. It just, no. You know, they don't deserve that much. They at most deserve, I'm not going to put a number on it, but they certainly don't deserve the lion's share of it just because they sat at the head. That reeks of feudalism, something that we really don't want to go back to, something that the United States was founded on the idea that we were going to put an end to feudalism, that we were going to put an end to that kind of aristocracy. And we've occasionally throughout our history tried hard to put limits on the redevelopment of it here. You know, the Sherman Antitrust Act is nothing but an attempt to do exactly what I'm saying, to put a stop to this inherited power and the continuous power of these massive concentrations of wealth. They don't deserve that much more power than everyone else. If somebody works really hard and they do a really good job and they get lucky and everything else and it happens for them and they gain a significant amount of power through this, I'm okay with that. When it becomes, that's when I have a problem with it. So anyway, I've hit 9 minutes and I doubt I made myself much more clear, but I really wanted to make a response to you that was in your style, out of respect for your abilities to regularly put yourself out there like this. So, you know, I hope to hear from you again, and friend, you're one of my better ones on YouTube, I think. Bye.